Alright folks, Lawrence here. Just an effort to kind of knock out a few birds with one stone. One, it was brought to my attention that I cannot use colored sleeves for double sleeves, I guess, because, and I looked it up, that is against the rules. So I need to re-sleeve my main deck. I also kind of wanted to try out these Dragon Shield sleeves and see what they're all about. These ones are clear, so that I can double sleeve and remain within regulations. I also, what, these are bent in there. Hey, what the heck? What? They came out looking like, what? I don't know if I'm happy about that. Wow, I'm already distracted. I also kind of want to talk about just upcoming ban list, because it is right around the corner. Now, before we go any further with this, you'll need to understand something. If you're looking for a thoughtful and well, I guess what one might call realistic ban list prediction, you're looking at the wrong guy. I got back in the game a couple years ago. I'm not even sure of all the patterns yet. So, they're straightening out. That being said, the way I'm thinking about this is pretty much, what would Konami want to ban and what would Konami want to limit as far as marketing is concerned? And as far as marketing is concerned, I can't imagine they would want to ban anything that had come out too recently. I feel like this is... Yeah, I don't think they'd want to ban anything that, like, recently came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, within, like, the last, I don't know, couple of years or so. Now, I'm sure there's an example that I'm not thinking of that would completely disprove that. I think the closest one might be Sky Strikers Engage, but that one was being too broken, I guess, is what I might say. It was being broken too much. No excuse to keep it around, but, yeah. So, my thought process is, they would, like, if I was the guy making the ban list and I was thinking about profits from selling card packs and stuff, I would not want to ban anything that came out too recently, or got a remake, or a reprint, I should say, when I say remake, anything that I got a reprint too recently. Because you want people to buy those cards. So the safe stuff you could ban is really anything that's been in the game for a while. Like True King of All Calamities, because I don't think that's been reprinted either. Or if it did, it didn't get a meaningful reprint, like it was the same rarity or something. Wasn't like what my first example is going to be, Miscellaneous Source. Miscellaneous Source came out in 2017, if I recall correctly. And the only reprint it's gotten has been that Maximum Rare, or not Maximum Rare, Maximum Gold reprint where it got the gold rarity. It's a pretty significant buff to its original rarity. So if I was Konami, and this is just me here, I'm thinking I wouldn't ban Miscellaneous Source outright, because the gold rare one is still very new. It might still be selling maximum golds. You don't want to give people a reason not to buy it. Limit it, though. You could limit the card. You would still nerf the dinosaurs, if that was your aim, but you would be nerfing them in a way that you could still make some excuse to tell people to buy maximum gold. On the flip side, I am well aware Cyber Angel Ben 10 got reprinted in, what was it, was it Genesis Impact? I'm not entirely sure. I know it got reprinted recently because I have several copies in my bulk pile. I think yeah, it was reprinted recently. I think maybe Blazing Board. I don't know. I have to go look it up. The point is, it was reprinted, I believe, at a lower rarity. In fact, and there's plenty of other cards to sell with that with the new sets that have come out. So, Ben 10, if I were to hit Cyber Angels, I would hit Ben 10. I would completely ban it. Your ban list, in my opinion, the new stuff that's coming out, I think they're doing a pretty good job keeping in check, like the Live Twins, for example. It could have been so easy to break the Live Twins. For example, you could have made them tuners. That's one way you could have done it. It wouldn't have really made sense with their whole Link theming going on. You could have made them tuners. You could have made them not once per turn. You could have made them special summon even if they control another monster on the board. There's so many things you could have done to break the Live Twins, but right now they're pretty fair as they are. And there's not really nothing that's abusing them. You can't say that same thing with Drytrons. The Drytrons are generally once per turn. They summon themselves from the hand once per turn. They get that graveyard summon shenanigans once per turn. They're pretty fair in that regard. It's Cyber Angel Ben 10 continuously recycling cards for him. And maybe this is just me, but when I play people who run in Drytrons, I haven't noticed a difference. And maybe that is just because they're doing Mu Beta, or not Mu Beta, what's it called? Fafnir, I think, right? The new Xyz one? Maybe that's the case. And they're running the new one, and the new one is making up for it more than I realize. But I still see them ending on Ultimateness, and if they want to, I've seen a couple, if they wanted to do it, they could end on Vanities. I know that's not the optimal play, but their combo, their end board really doesn't look much different. So, it would definitely hurt the deck. I don't think it would make it unviable, or non-viable. You would just have to really push with their cards that are coming out recently. So I would ban Ben 10 just straight up. And if I really, really wanted to just sink my teeth into the deck, I'd also ban the other two Cyber Angels, because they're being played and abused in a way that, when they came out, that could not have been foreseen. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Ben 10, the Cyber Angels came out. Those are a Yu-Gi-Oh! GX card, if I recall correctly. That was like, what, 2011, I think? Maybe somewhere in that ballpark. Yeah, there's no way they could have been like, hey, you know what, in about 10 years, these guys are going to just keep looping in the hand and keep searching out fairies, and there's going to be a deck that just completely abuses them. So I would just get rid of them. Older cards that are being abused in ways that could not have been foreseen, I would just get rid of. Just ban them straight out. Zexal was kind of like that too, when they banned Zexal, because Zexal came out in, what was that series? It's the one with the stupid kid nobody likes. Astral, that guy. And again, abused in ways with the Numerons that could set him up in like one card. Made very unfair for the game. So you got rid of them. So I would limit Miscellaneous Source. I would pretty much ban all the older cards that Drytrons are abusing that have existed for well over 5 years. What's another deck out there? Tri-Brigades? There's honestly, the only thing I would do about Tri-Brigades, and I say this without doing my research on this one because I don't know when the Barrier statue came out, that's about all I'd get rid of. I think their Tri-Brigades are fine otherwise. They can be frustrating, definitely, but I think without their ability to just floodgate the entire board and not having a way around them without a specific out, which is usually Godarla, or some other form of non-targeting, non-destruction removal. Like, I remember getting around with Psychic Eraser Laser, which I know that targets, but you kill the Simorgh with it, and then you go into killing the other one. But what was I going on about? Yeah, I would do something about Barrier Statue. You gotta ban it. You can't just limit it because they're only running one anyway. And that would inadvertently, not that anyone probably cares, that would inadvertently hurt like Harpies and stuff like that, because they are capable of basically any deck that can put out a guaranteed Simorgh turn 1 and end on the barrier statue. It would hurt any deck that does that, but I think Tribal Gate is the only one that really matter when it comes to that. Jesus Christ, what else is there? Dragon Links. Yes, Dragon Links, man. I don't even know where to get started on Dragon Links, because Dragon Links is just the best dragon cards rolled into one deck. That's all they are. It's kind of funny to talk about in that regard. They're just the best dragon deck. They're just the best dragons have to offer right now. I'm not even sure. I'd have to do more research on when things got released. Like, you obviously wouldn't hit the Dragon Maid using my methodology, because I believe Dragon Maid came out a year ago? Came out right before COVID hit. I remember seeing them pop up in locals. So, there's that. And you wouldn't hit that for that reason. So you couldn't hit the Dragon Maid part of it. You couldn't hit the Rockets part of it, because that structure deck came out. And they got that support. Using my mentality, by the way. Not saying, like, if you wanted to hit them. But Wyvern Buster and Collapse Serpent, I think you can get rid of those. Completely get rid of those. Those have been around for quite a while. I believe they're another 2018 card. I'd have to again research that before I make a clear definitive statement on that, but I do believe they've been in the game for longer than about 4 years. So I would get rid of those. Going back to the Rocket, the stuff that I released in the structure deck like a year and some change ago, I would just limit that, like Rocket Tracer, those guys. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, yeah, MST pretty much, for those, MST.TV, for those of you unfamiliar, which if you're watching me, I don't know why you wouldn't know about them, but MST.TV, I think, pretty much hit the nail on the head with what they hit. I think the only thing they straight up banned was the Wyvern Buster Collapse Serpent, and I'm pretty sure he gave the same reasoning, because it's been out for a while. You don't need to entice people with a new pack to buy, because it'll have Wyvern Buster. It's been out for too long. Everyone who wants it already has it. I was a little worried about these sleeves at first, but they're kind of nice. I'm going to have to re-sleeve my tokens, though, because all my tokens are white sleeves. But that is a task for a different day. It's already past midnight over here. What are the other decks that are really kicking butt right now? Eldritch, using my reasoning, you wouldn't ban anything from Eldritch. And I just today managed to get the rest of my Eldritch cards that never showed up in the mail. I managed to find somebody who had them. So, I guess you would hit maybe Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, just because it's the one that puts Eldritch out there. But I started looking up all the other Eldritch cards. They've got a quick play that does the same thing. I'll be honest with you, I don't know why. No, two more. I don't know why the other one is so important to it. And maybe that's just lack of experience with the deck talking, which probably is. But yeah, there's a quick play spell that the it's like an Elixir of white something or other, I want to say. And it's a quick play, and it, if you special summon a zombie, and if you don't have a zombie, and if you don't have an Eldritch, it has to be an Eldritch. Well, that's like the only thing you would summon anyway. So I'm not sure why that one doesn't get run. There's probably a reason I'm not thinking of. But if you hit Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, I mean, people would just start running that. Alright, that is main deck completed. And, okay, how do I like these? I'm not gonna lie, I think I kind of just like using these sleeves better, the Ultra Pros. But we'll play with these, because you definitely get more for your... No, I don't even think you get more for your buck, because you get 100 sleeves for this box, and I would get 50 of the standard slab sleeves, but I'd only pay like $3 for the Ultra Pro. and these were straight up $12. So it's not, you get more bang for your buck for the Ultra Pro sleeves, because you can buy about 3 of those before you get the price of one of these boxes, and you end up coming out with 50 more sleeves about. So I think that's better off, but we'll place some. Ooh, these are slidey. These are new sleeves. Yep, they're new sleeves. They're sliding all over the place. But yep. So let me take care of my side deck cards and just count and make sure I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Re-sleeve these ones real quick. So what else? What other decks are prevalent in the meta right now? I've talked about Drytrons, I've talked about dinosaurs, and again, I think dinosaurs, especially with Scrap Raptor, they'll be able to survive even if they ban Miscellaneous Horse. I think they'd be able to survive. They wouldn't be nearly as powerful because you can stop them a lot easier now with that, but I don't think they'd be completely out of the game. But like I said, I've only been back in the game for two and some change years now, so I could be wrong. One thing I hope they bring Sky Striker's Engage back to 1. You don't need to bring it to 3, you don't need to bring it to 2, just bring it to 1. Give Sky Striker something. But then again, that's kind of going along with they're not even an older deck, but they are a deck that's been they've seen their prime, and they've lost it essentially. They saw their glory days, and their glory days have come and gone. So probably won't see that get redone anytime soon. What else? What else could come off the ban list? Let's see. I don't know, because a lot of what's on the ban list right now is pretty much older stuff that I was talking about that has been abused in new ways. Oh, this is one, and I know this is going to go against everything I'm saying, but just for basic game mechanics, I would get rid of Chaos Dragon Levianeer completely. Strictly because it rips out cards from your opponent's hand before they can potentially even play the game, which is, to me, just a blatantly unfun mechanic. And I know that's kind of cheesy to say, like, oh, well, we don't care if you're having fun. Well, it's not... If you're unable to stop it, you go into the next turn with... You go into turn 2 with 5 cards instead of 6. You know what I mean? And that's supposed to be your big advantage. Going second is... The payoff is, well, I didn't get to set up my board turn 1, but I have a 6th card in my hand to potentially stop the opponent's plays. Like, I've lost count of how many times where I've been like, well, I don't have the hand trap, or I've already used my hand traps, which is more likely the scenario, to stop the Dragon Link play, but hey, they still got their Chaos Dragon Levianeer, and I still had this 1 card in my hand that would have, like, usually a Dark Ruler or something like that, that would have been able to let me play against the Dragon Link board once it's been built, but oh no, Chaos Dragon Levianeer took it away from me, you know what I mean? That's just not fun. That's losing the game to RNG more than anything else. And for that reason, I think Levianeer needs to go. But these are all sleeved, and I just kind of wanted to chit-chat for a little bit, play with my new camera setup. I think I'm going to go back to the other setup I had, where the kind of cheapo camera is facing me, and the more expensive camera is facing the deck. Because I'm looking at this just on my screen right here, and I'm like, it's looks kinda bad. But I'll go through in like a post-production, especially, and put up images of the cards I'm talking about. But in the meantime, thank y'all for chilling out with me, and I hope y'all have a great day, and go out there and treat each other like you have some sense.